and this is the stream that I do every week. But this week is a special week because it's my birthday. So instead of playing a game that's new to me, which is what I do most of the time, I'm going to play a game that I'm very familiar with, Donkey Kong Country 3. Now, having said that, I'm not as familiar with the Game Boy Advance version, which is the one I'm playing now. So in a way, it is still new to me, kind of. I've played through this once. So let's see. The main difference is that I'm very familiar with Country 3 on SNES, so I'm going to be talking about that a lot and comparing it. In-level graphics are pretty similar. They copied it all over pretty well. The map graphics are very different, and the music is completely different. David Wise did an entire new soundtrack for it, so we'll talk about that as we go on. But you may notice that right here, the title screen music is a remix of Aquatic Ambience from DKC 1. The other thing that the intro to the game kind of spoils is the Nautilus, K. Rool's submarine here. I guess we don't know that it's K. Rool's submarine, but it's kind of a surprise thing that you find if you basically get everything else in the game. You get the secret final boss fight, and that's when you see this submarine. But right here, they've put it right up front, so that's interesting. But yeah, let's get started. My main goal today is to get to Pacifica, which is the whole new world that they added for this port. Thinking whether to do a funny name or just... Yeah, so Milo doesn't translate too well to 3-letter entry screens, so I usually end up being Mill. Yeah. Hi Gibbon, how's it going? Good to see you. It's my birthday, so I'm playing what I want to. But luckily, what I wanted was this, and this actually fits my stream profile of having prominent female characters at the lead, because Dixie Kong, who was introduced in DKC 2, she gets her own game here, which is amazing. Anyway, Wrinkly is not in her living room anymore. She's now in this weird temple, and she's become like, yeah, find my inner self. She's she's become kind of a monk of the banana birds or something. I don't know, it's weird. But that's one of the changes they made here. And she's got an all-new sprite, of course, for that. The music is not really fitting for this setting exactly. In the original, she had 3 different songs, actually, depending on what activity she was doing in her cave, including a remix of the Mario 64 sort of castle theme, because she was playing that in the game. It was amazing. That song is used in all the NPC locations. It's more fitting for the Brothers Bear here, and they look completely different. It's kind of weird. Anyway, this is bizarre. All my brothers are scattered around these islands. Pop in and say hello if you think you spot one of them on your travels. And there's new dialogue options because there's new stuff. You can ask about the secret caves. Was that in the original? I don't remember. But yeah, the chocolate is new. That's because there's one new Brothers Bear in this version. They moved Barnacle to Pacifica, and in his place in Lake Orangatanga is Bachelor Bear. So I want to point out one thing real quick here. Funky's Rentals boathouse. For one thing, the perspective is a bit weird on that building. Yeah, these new map screens, DKC 1, 2, and 3 on GBA all got new map screens, and I think they're ugly as sin. But speaking of that, you'll notice the font on the sign on the roof is the well-known and infamous Comic Sans, which is kind of a rare staple in this era. I think they use it in Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they use it in one of their, a few of their Xbox games. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, so Smoke a New Boat Shop. I've also brought your excellent cousin Kiddy Kong along for the ride. Yeah. So the good thing about actually, I was going to say something, but I'm not sure if it's true. Is this the first game where Funky has this exact outfit? I think he got the white wife beater in this game. Yeah, he was still shirtless in 2. That's right. I remember because Super Mario Bros. Posted a beta screenshot recently of him in the DKC 2 pose and model in this screen for the SNES version. That's a beta thing. He's also wearing shoes. He never does that anymore. So yeah, I think this game established this look for Funky, except that he has a tool belt and shoes, which he doesn't carry on into the future. So yeah, Kiddy Kong's here. He's the co-star of this game, but Dixie is really the main event. So yeah, she's a great character. I used to say that Diddy Kong was my favorite Kong, but now I think Dixie is. So yeah, we're gonna get in the boat. That screen transition is new. As it sort of scrolls over. We'll get the one banana bird cave, but really I want to kind of speedrun the first 4 worlds. Oh, okay. There's a tutorial for these now. I don't remember this. Yeah, I know how these work, thank you. Oh yeah, they use the D-pad because the GBA didn't have 4 face buttons. You'll notice that they're actually colored after the real SNES controller button layout, not the weird fake American one. I don't know what's up with that. Nice motorboat. Nice fish in the lake. So yeah, the controls feel a little different for driving the boat. Definitely. Compared to the original. But yeah, let's get going. Man, Kitty looked really small on that on that map screen. Okay, so the first thing I notice is the graphics are a little brighter than the original. That's normal for Game Boy Advance. Like I said, there's 2 face buttons, so some of the functions are mapped to the shoulder buttons. And whoops. And I noticed that there's a lot more sound effects that weren't there before. So the throwing sound, that action has a sound. That's the same, but there's no animation for it. They just jump over each other. In the original, there was like a unique animation for it. Anyway, now that we've done organizing that, oh, the A's been switched to an R. That's clever. Well, not clever, but really necessary. Oh, Dixie's hair twirl has a sound now. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna just speed through this now that I've done a little bit of examining. But I'm very familiar with the level layouts of this game, so there shouldn't be a problem. Oh, I don't like that jumping sound. So yeah, it's a matter of taste whether the new soundtrack is an improvement or not. It's certainly quite different, and it's not bad. I don't like it quite as much, maybe because of my attachment to the original. I think it's really good, and also I'm very familiar with it. But yeah, this is good too. I remember when the OC Remix project, Donkey Kong Country 3, what's it called? What's the album called? Double the Trouble, maybe? Yeah, they ended up remixing both entire soundtracks on the one album, which is really a cool package, a cool project. DK Vine's own Lighthouse / Highway was one of the organizers of that album, actually, and he did a great job. He's in the unofficial Outer Circle chat now, so you can go talk to him, because it's an open, I think it's an open invite. You might have to contact Gibbon on the forum. Gibbon's taken control of that Discord chat now, which is good. Someone's paying attention to it. Oops. Yeah, so okay, Gibbon needs to be PM'd for an invite, he says. So yeah, make an account on the forum and PM Gibbon to go talk to the guy who did that soundtrack thing. Hi Tony, how's it going? He's asking how my birthday... Wait, how's my baby? Oh, I thought you said birthday. Baby, yeah, my baby. I hatched a new baby. You can also PM Gibbon on Twitter for an invite. That's good to know. So I am Gibbon on Twitter. So yeah, Cranky's got a new thing here. Instead of being at Swanky's sideshow, throwing rocks at targets and stuff, he has a dojo. And the banners there say Kong Karate. And you can do a mini game where you play as Cranky, and it's a clone of Oops, I accidentally said, but so we're gonna see it. Okay. I guess I'll show off the minigames. That's good to do, actually. Yeah, this is a clone of a bonus mode from International Karate Plus, a game on... Oh, I used to know what that was. It might even be DOS, but it was like maybe the C64 or something like that. Old game. IK Plus is an enhanced port of the original IK, and it's the port that has the minigame like this, where you block things coming in. That's actually a theme with this game. The minigames... Oh, there we go. I was almost finished, but I didn't quite get there. Yeah, there is still room for improvement. So if I get to a better score, he'll give me the banana bird. So this game's all about getting the banana birds. It's like a special collectible. Let's go and see Bachelor real quick. Just to interrupt the speed run a bit again. In this game, banana peels show the location of the parts. I think that is consistent from the previous two GBA ports as well. So yeah, Bachelor, blah blah blah. He wants to woo a lady bear with flowers and chocolates. Pretty cliche, but he didn't like that flower, so he gave it to us. Now Bramble/Bellamy is going to want that. When originally you get the flower from just a path outside of Cotton Top Cove after you clear Mechanos, because of the pollution is stopping the flowers. Yes, so Tony asked about my baby. My baby is still a baby. So we're playing Tamagotchi for the Retro Game Club, which Tony nominated. Where's the music? Oh, that's right. This one takes a while to start for some reason. It's just sort of a slight ambience at first before fading in. I gather they wanted to do more of that fading thing, fading in and out or between tracks, and that's what Y's composed for. But I don't think the GBA, I don't think the team could handle getting it onto the GBA in that form. So instead, what you get is just part of the track cut the other part of the track, and that holds true for this one and a couple other ones. The snow one, I think, and maybe the cliff one. I don't remember. Anyway, here's an interesting thing to point out. So those beetles I had to hop on to get up to this platform, that's like a requirement to get up there, but actually on the Game Boy Advance version you can just jump up like that. So kind of eliminates the challenge and so that's weird. So the water skip to get to this bonus barrel, you need to do that with Kitty. I remember Gibbon had a bit of trouble with that on the SNES version, but again, they changed the physics and how high the Kongs can jump in this version, so you don't even need to water skip in this version to get to it. So yeah, that's maybe an oversight, but that's an interesting trivia fact. Yeah, so what I found really interesting was I've spoken out before against porting games from the SNES to the GBA. They have similar capabilities, technically, supposedly. So a lot of games did get ported, but they end up being inferior ports. The sound capabilities of the GBA's chip, and they're not quite as good as what you get on the SNES, and that's before you even talk about the entire new soundtrack that this game got, because that's a different issue. And let's see what else. Yeah, so the bright colors, the washing out, that's something that is just a natural part of GBA games, and makes them a bit lesser graphically. But one of the main problems, I think, and this is especially true for things like Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Advance 3, is that they use the same sprites, but because of the different screen shape and the number of pixels and so on, you actually get less. So the characters are the same size on the screen, but the screen is smaller, if that makes sense. Like, imagine that. I don't know how to explain it, but hopefully you get the picture. You have, yes, those maps do look hard, don't they, given? Yeah, on a lot of these SNES to GBA ports, you just end up with a shrunken screen. It's the same in Mega Man and Bass. I did it. I made that mistake. He's not a fish, he's a musical term. Oh wow, that's quite a sound that Ellie makes there. Yeah, you get... Yeah, I get caught out on this stage a lot, actually. Oops. Wow, I lost a life. Down to 16. Yeah, so the screen's smaller, and it makes it harder to play because you have less time to react to things, you can't see as much around you, so there might be more blind leaps, because, yeah, your screen's smaller, but they don't adjust the level design for it or anything. There was a similar problem as well, going from Super Mario Bros. To Super Mario Bros. Deluxe on the Game Boy Color. Yes, so that's an issue. Now, the thing about the DKC ports is that that's not actually an issue, because I don't know whether it's the style of the sprites, and whether that allowed them to shrink all the sprites that they had going on. Oh yeah, even Ellie's just scared. Even if you've got the invincibility frames, you can't make it past there. Okay, I'm gonna save here. I shouldn't really have to do that, considering how well I know this game, but this stage in particular can be annoying with catching you out like that. Yes, you need a barrel for that sneak. So yeah, Courtney says happy birthday. Thanks. I guess she usually streams at the same time as me, so Gibbon ends up dividing his attention between us. But that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna rewind. I really want to get to Pacifica and show that off. That's the whole thing. And I shouldn't be getting caught out by these early levels, but I am, so there you go. Oh, that's interesting. I can't run off the edge. I expect I should be able to. Maybe that's a change they made. And these changes, they're not necessarily intentional. Like, this is a new engine, new graphics and everything. I mean, they didn't use the source... From what I've heard about the handheld team, they didn't use the source graphics that were made for the SNES. They instead took ROMs of the original games on emulators and extracted the sprites from them that way, and then used them to make the graphics for this game. That's what I heard, anyway. Gibbon says Pacifica is the only good thing about this game. Let's stop in at Swanky's. Oh, it gives you a DK barrel going into Swanky's. That's weird. Okay, so yeah. Instead of the sideshow with throwing the things, Swanky has reverted to his DKC2 outfit, actually, now that I notice. And he's got this weird VR machine. Yeah, we'll give it a go just to show it off. Like I said, with this game copying other games for its bonus minigames, this one is, well, I think... What's going on? Okay. So you got to get up to speed before you start running. And you're on a timer, so I believe I've just screwed myself, because to win these, I think you pretty much just have to get every star. But yeah, this is... I think clearly the Sonic 2 bonus stage setup, complete with this whole Mode 7 thing. Yeah, I didn't get all the stars, so I think I'm boned. Yeah, Gibbon says he doesn't like any of the new stuff. I think Funky's Boats minigame is good, if only because it's got Tiny, Chunky, and Lanky in it, which is a nice thing. But it's also like cloning a really competent game from Rare's past, which I'll talk about when we get to it. Yeah, whatever, Swanky. I'm out of here. I don't need this stupid game. I 100%ed this when I did it, and I played all those stupid games. So much saving and loading on emulator to get all those stars. Really annoying minigame. Don't like it. What the? That spiky thing's new. So that's what Belch is pushing us towards. That burp sound was terrible. Yeah, so I was talking about the screen size. You actually get more space on this screen, which surprised me when I heard about it. So I went to 2 emulator windows, opened them both at the same time. Oh, that shouldn't have... I think if he takes 1 or maybe 2 hops forward, you can't knock him down with just 2 bugs, but apparently in this version it's a little different, maybe. Yes, and also Cranky coming in to give commentary. That's something that they added in DKC 1, I think, to the boss encounters. Cranky comes in at the end for the GBA port, and they've carried it through this one, which is nice. I don't think he did that in 2. It's been a while since I played the ports, so I can't say that with confidence. But yeah, here we are in Kremwood Forest. Again, the map screens are ugly. Yes, it's true. And I don't like the soundtrack as much, and the GBA sound chip doesn't do it any favors, but it's not bad. It's still a new David Wise soundtrack, so it can't be all bad. Like, I do dislike several of the compositions. Okay, here's another thing. In the original, NIDs would break your barrel, but they don't here, so there you go. Yeah, so let's see. Did I finish talking about the screen size? Yeah. I got the 2 windows, I looked at them side by side, and you get about the same vertical resolution and quite a bit more horizontal resolution. So it's actually really nice, and that makes me appreciate these ports a lot more than I would otherwise. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Did you... Oh, damn. Gibbon, did you see when I had to do that kitty water skip thing to get the bonus stage, and in the advanced version you can just jump up and get it automatically? You don't need to do the water skip. Yeah, that's the thing in this version. See, new sounds from the enemies. Yeah, Gibbon's talking about this new stuff. There's new things that they added, and they're not all good. I think the new sound effects, like, it's hard for me to say whether they're like they're bad because they're different from what I remember playing many times as a child. And the original game is great, really great. So any changes could potentially ruin things, but I don't know. I really can't say I'm that invested in this game that it's hard for me to be objective about it. And having listened to the soundtrack, especially through the remix album, I've come to appreciate it in a way as well. But I still don't like it as much, especially because, you know, we've been talking about this year in my streams, I'm doing games with female characters, and this is definitely one of them. Dixie is a great lead for this game, and she's a great character in her own rights. But yeah, by replacing all of the original music, you're actually writing out the contributions of a really great female creator, Evelyn Novakovic, I should say, née Fisher. So she got married at some point. I think it was after she'd done all the DKC work. Whoopsie. So yeah, she's credited us both in various places. Just one of those, you know, things. Patriarchy, women change their name when they get married. So yeah, she's a great musician, really good. She never did it. She didn't do enough work really for Rare. She did a couple of games and then some voice work and sound effects stuff, and then kind of retired from the industry, from what I gather. But I wish we got more of her soundtracks because her work in DKC3 is really great. She also did several tracks in DKC1 that sometimes get forgotten about when people attribute the whole soundtrack to David Wise. No, I'm not doing well on these zinger jumps, am I? Buzz jumps, rather. There's no zingers in this game. Okay, that's the end. Yeah, Gibbon's saying a lot of the same stuff, actually. Yeah, okay. That's a really good point. So given saying that since, there's the new stuff, it doesn't fit as well because the original game was made with Evelyn's music in mind. It fits the environment, he says, and the sounds similarly so. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Warp barrels. They were a thing in this game. I didn't think that one was so easy to get in the original, but I guess we smashed Brush's record there by using a cheating teleporter, but okay, that's fine. I'll do the level properly because it's a good level, with the bugs chasing you and going above and below the water. This is one of those transition stages I was talking about actually, where the music has two... Oh, it actually does it in this version. So there's an underwater version of the music for the stage and an above water version. And I think the idea was to smoothly fade between them and cross switch between them as you go, but instead it kind of jarringly switches. In fact, the melody's completely different, so I don't know. Maybe they didn't mean for them to crossfade, but it's odd. This is something that David Wise would really, and with the new technology, I suppose, they made great use of it in DKC Tropical Freeze on the Wii U, soon to be released on Switch. A lot of crossfading, underwater variations, stuff like that, and yeah, that's a great game, great soundtrack. David Wise is good at music, but yes, given says he can't see the bees. They do kind of fade in with the background. You see those flowers in the background? Sometimes you can't tell that there's bees chasing you. I don't know. Anyway. Yes. Oh, yeah. Gibbon says, the bright graphics plus garish red, colorblind nightmare. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Accessibility features would be nice in games, but especially in this era, not always expected or practical. Definitely not expected. So yeah, as Gibbon says, Wise always gets all the credit for composing DKC 1 at least. And no one remembers that Evelyn Fisher did part of that soundtrack. And in fact, that Robin Beanland did one song for that soundtrack. He composed Funky's theme, which was originally used on a Killer Instinct trailer. It was going to be in Killer Instinct. I think they decided not to use it in the end, and instead they put it in DKC as Funky's theme. Oh, that roll should have taken him out. Oh well. Oh wow. The new kitty cry. That's awful. Okay. So yeah, this is it's commonly said that every level in DKC 3 has a gimmick to it, and clearly the gimmick in this one is using barrels to knock out sneaks in their little hamster wheels, which are providing power for something, and when you knock them all out, a door opens. Actually, that doesn't make sense. It should be the other way around, right? Why does the door open when you knock them out? Are they running the mill? I don't know why the door opens. Anyway, whatever. The point is, you gotta take out all the snakes using these respawning barrels and such. Oh, that one's not gonna respawn. Oh, this isn't a double layer one. Okay. Later on, there's two in a row, but they start you with the one, and of course they ramp it up. So we'll go up this way. Yeah, there's a bonus up there. I'm not gonna get it. Not doing any bonuses. Oh, that reminds me. There's no Merry code in this one, is there? Because Merry, like, it's my birthday and stuff. You know what? I'm gonna go to the save point and check if there's a Merry code by entering the code. See, this is the double thing I was talking about. Yeah, there we go. And up here's another bonus, not getting it. Every level in DKC 3 has 2 bonus stages. That's a rule. No more, no less. And I think it's true that in every stage, one is before the halfway point barrel, the midway barrel, and one is after. I got some skepticism about that when I made that claim the other day, but I think that's true. I'm pretty sure that is. Yes. Given saying that the hitboxes in this game are all whack. Yeah, it's not a perfect port, but I like that the handheld team tried to differentiate them by adding the content that they did. In the first 2 games, it was the case that they added more collectibles to each level and minigames. In this one, they decided to add a whole new world full of new levels, as well as minigames, and more of them, I think, in this one. 2 had a few minigames as well. But I think the minigames themselves are best in this game compared to 2 and 1. So yeah, the first DKC did have an extra level in the Game Boy Color version, but they didn't carry that one through to GBA. Neki Nutmare in the last Chimp Caverns, the last world, I think, is where it is. It's too bad that one didn't make it through to the other port. So you really kind of have to play all 3 to get the complete experience. You know, SNES, GBC, and GBA. So yeah, this is a neat sub-gimmick for this level, is by clearing out all the sneaks, you open this door, which is the first one you come across, but you have to ascend past it, and then you fall down through a bunch of trapdoors, retracing your steps. Aha! The introduction of Parry, everyone's favourite. Animal Buddy, Parry the parallel bird, who of course is a species of bird that just flies parallel to you. Great character. So yeah, Evelyn Fisher / Nevkovich, she did some of the great tracks in DKC1, and her soundtrack for the original version of DKC3 is just superb. That's right, her other major work, I suppose, is doing the Conker's Pocket Tales soundtrack, but for Game Boy Color. And original Game Boy, to be clear. But that's not really her compositions. I believe it was her transferring? Anyway, she put the, what I believe is that she took soundtracks that Robin Beanland had already written for Conker's Quest, 12 Tales Conker 64, in the same way that Grant Kirkhope's first gig with Rare was to take David Wise's DKC2 compositions and convert them to Game Boy for Donkey Kong Land 2. I believe she did the same thing for Conker. But I'm not sure if there are original compositions in Pocket Tales that weren't from 12 Tales. I don't know, and I guess we could ask her, but she's not like at Rare anymore, so I don't know how you would. You could ask people who are at Rare who, I don't know, whatever. That's not my job. Point is, I really wish I could have shown off the work of this great woman creator in the games industry, but I thought back to how Gibbon had just played DKC3 on his stream and how I would sort of complement that by playing the advanced version, and I also wanted to show off Pacifica and the new stuff in the port, with the intent of going for things that are more obscure, which is what I usually do on stream, I guess. So yeah, sadly I couldn't do that by the choice that I made. There's no... none of Evelyn's music is in this version. But that's okay. Oh well. Transposing. Yeah, that's a good word. I think that's more sort of an internal music thing if you move something up a chord. Alright, so Brash was normally in a little log cabin, but now he has his own stadium apparently, and you have to beat his record in Riverside Race in order to unlock the next level in this world, because he gets mad and then he bashes his counter, which he didn't do in that animation, I guess. And the vibrations from him bashing it cause a log to come down. Oh wait, no. Okay, so that's not actually necessary for progress. That's necessary to get a Banana Bird cave. My bad. There's just a bridge there. Yeah, transcribing? Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Gibbon says he doesn't like how they look more like real bears. Yeah, they were like cartoon bears in the original. That was a neat little effect there. Okay, so yeah, Gibbon's talking about the ports, so that's cool. He's saying, I really like... Oh, that's right, hang on. Wait, I missed... I got half the bananas in there, so I don't know what it was telling me to do. You're supposed to suck up water from... How do you do that? Oh, okay, you hold down and then... Okay. And then you hit R to spit water out. That's a unique function that Ellie has in certain levels. She doesn't have it in all levels. Like her first lakeside level, she didn't have it. But yeah, this is another thing here. Yeah, cool stuff. Oh yeah, thanks, Gibbon. I figured it out just when you said how to suck up the water. Oh yeah. Gibbon said before the Brothers Bear, you could imagine that they were the same as Banjo because they looked similar. But now, in this art style, the changes they made, they're quite a bit different. Oh, there you go. Different music again, going from land to water. I feel like running across barrels is a little more smooth in this version if they're right next to each other. Cool. Yeah, so what Gibbon says about the DKC ports... Oh, this is a neat bonus level as well, because if you jump into the water, you don't fall down far enough to get to there, but if you bounce on these beetles, you gain enough height so that when you fall down, you fall further into the water and you get the bonus room. So here's the bonus music, which we haven't heard yet because I've been avoiding them. This always reminds me of the theme song to the original Series 1 of the DK Vine Forum Watch, which is a podcast that I've been on. Don't listen to it. It's kind of bad and also really insular about the DK Vine Forum, so you don't want to hear that. But yeah, oh, that's interesting. So the barrel knocked off the buzz and then landed in the water. It remained as an actor in the game world. That wouldn't have happened in the original. So yeah, there's a lot of things that this port does that, you know, some of them are interesting or you know, arguably improvements from the original, but there's also a lot of things like Gibbon has been talking about. It doesn't look as good, the new music doesn't work as well, and also doesn't sound as good. So it's a trade-off, and it's always sad to me when a port isn't better than the original. Like, if you're remaking something on a new platform, it should be the best version of that game, and you just can't say that about this one, which is unfortunate. So yeah, to do with before I get to that, so the music, which is on the podcast, I I recorded lyrics over that song for the theme tune. I did it once because, to give credit, Sir Chasm, a DK Vine forum user who I don't believe is really around anymore on the forum, but he was he actually did the music for yeah, it's easier to deal with Arik as Dixie because you hold the barrel above you and you just hit him like that. Yeah, Sir Chasm did the music, and that was his idea. He made lyrics, he recorded over the DKC3 GBA bonus music. I did a parody of his theme song once when I was a guest host on there. Actually, I might have done it twice. One with like Milo-themed lyrics, and once just... yeah, no, it was just once. I added a thing where he said the names of the hosts, and it was just me. Yeah, I don't know if that really landed, but anyway, that's what that music reminds me of, is when I copied Sir Chasm's theme music for the Forum Watch. Yeah, good times. Subsequent seasons of the podcast actually would use different bonus theme musics from different games, and the quote-unquote current season, which is a few years old, it's kind of on a perpetual hiatus, the podcast, still used my music that I made for it, and I always kind of felt weird about that. Well, it's new music that was based on the Returns bonus theme, I think, is the latest one. And basically it's that thing where like I heard my own voice and I didn't like it, and I was like, that's stupid. I'm doing a bad job of singing and I hate my voice, so I didn't like hearing this in my podcast. But it was a mark of respect, I guess, for them to use it. So yeah, we get the patch from Eric, and Funky uses it to patch up an old hovercraft skirt that he had lying around or whatever, which means we can, oops, we can use the hover thingy. What did I call it? Hovercraft. Yes, so there's the mini games. We'll do those a bit later, I guess. I want to prioritize going to Pacifica. I forgot that, of course, in this version you can cycle between different ones by walking over to them. In the original, it's just a menu that you look at. So I need the water ski, the hover ski thingy, to the jet ski, whatever that bloody is, a jet ski or whatever. You need that to get up the waterfalls, and you need to get the waterfalls to get to Pacifica. So let's do the next worlds in their proper and correct order by doing Cotton Top Cove and then Mechanos. So here's Blue. Exact same music as all the other bears, unlike in the original where he had his own unique slowed down. Yeah. And all the birthday party stuff is also an interesting... Actually, speaking of that, it is my birthday, so let's hang out in here a little bit. Yeah, it's Blue's birthday too. So he wants a present from his friends. They're all a bit busy, I guess, but they do end up sending him some presents, I guess. Through you. You take him something from Bazooka. So, I wanted to see if the Merry code works, so I will save game, which you can do at any time from the menu. Wrinkly doesn't have that function anymore. She just takes care of banana birds. So I've saved, which means I can reset, and then I'll see if codes work, how they work. I found a list. Merry wasn't on there, but I'm going to try it anyway, just in case. Oh, here's a cheat that lets you play all the minigames from the menu, so I might enter that when after I do Pacifica. So, how do I do it? LRR, 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 LR? Nope, that's not it. That's the original. It's just cheats down here. Okay. Well, we'll give it a go. Merry. That sounded like a bad sound. I don't think that's correct. Why don't we try color? Which, from what I read online, uses the American spelling because the original cheats only had a 5-character limit. Yeah, that didn't work either. That would give you alternate colors in the main game. In the original SNES release. Yeah, the other ones either give you all the coins, they make the game harder, they give you more lives, or they unlock the sound test. Or the credits, but yeah, we don't need any of that, so never mind. Okay, so I can now finally get to Gibbon's opinions about the ports, which I think are interesting to read. So he says he really likes the new stuff in DKC1 GBA, which I will say now the new stuff would be... oh, that's cool. Speaking of new stuff, in DKC1 GBA, there's new background animals like frogs and snakes and stuff hopping around on levels. Here we've got a clownfish. That's new. It's like an independent character or whatever, just hanging out in the level, and you can't interact with it. And it just, yeah. Nice detail. But yeah, what are the new features in DKC1 GBA? There's a pretty terrible dancing minigame with candy. Ouch. There's, let's see. There's some of the music tracks are re-orchestrations, so it's not exactly the same soundtrack. There's like different instruments used. I remember in the Forest theme particularly, but there's other ones. Forest Interlude, I believe it's called. But yeah, as he says, on GBA, it's basically just the same, or just a higher resolution version of the GBC one. Same minigames and all, if I recall correctly. And it has some of the same minigames actually. On GBC, of course, Funky's Fishing, I guess, was the main one, and that has carried over to GBA. But GBC had a minigame that's not in Game Boy Advance DKC 1, which is the croc shooting one. Cranky runs a target shooting game where Kremlings pop out of barrels and you control a crosshair and you shoot at them. It's like a carnival game kind of thing. But yeah, that wasn't in GBA. So, but apart from that, oh, and the extra level, of course, Necky Nutmare. I'm not going to grab On Guard because that's just making the game too easy on a veteran like me. Yeah, stuff. What was I saying? So I mentioned before that the advanced ports for 1 and 2 at least added extra collectibles. In 1, that means there's cameras that you can find around the place which unlock pictures in like a gallery mode. That's the end of the level. Yeah, Funky's Fishing was cool. Yeah. Gibbon saying the dancing minigame. He forgot about it. Kitty looks so small on this map. I feel like his sprite is smaller than Dixie's for some reason, which shouldn't be. So yeah, there's cameras in GBC and GBA. I don't know if they're in the same locations or different ones. I did play them both at one point through emulator. Oh, that noise. That's not the right noise. The crumples are supposed to be more, I don't know, macho than that. Yeah, I don't know if the cameras are in the same places. There's also green banana bunches on GBC that aren't on GBA. I don't remember what they do, but they're like an extra secret collectible thing. Yeah. Is that all they added? There's gotta be more. Some of the bosses were changed, I remember that. I think Master Necky Sr. had 2 Neckys at once attacking you instead of just the one. And there were other differences with the bosses. I believe Boss Dum Drum, instead of it just crashing onto the ground and it being hurt that way, you had to pick up a TNT barrel and lob it at the boss. Yeah, I'll skip that over, whatever. So yeah, there were tweaks to the bosses, there were the mini games, the extra collectibles. Yeah, it was all nice. Yes, okay, so covered that. Gibbon says that he likes the new boss in DKC2, and Pacifica is great, but the new maps, new boss graphics, new bear graphics in this, bleh. And I got to agree. It is so mixed because you've got new content, you've got some changes and fixes and stuff, but yeah, it's just a downgrade in all aesthetic qualities basically, which is a shame. So yeah, into the changes for GBA port of 2 are, you got the new boss, like Gibbon said, in Stronghold Showdown, which is the name of the boss level. What's called K-Rool's Keep. Instead of DK being there and you like going, oh no, parry! Sorry. He's dead. Oh well. Yep, so instead of you just finding DK and then him getting pulled away as a fake out kind of thing, you fight a whole boss, and it's this new guy called Kerosene. He's a giant orange Kremling, and he wields 2 swords eventually, which look just like Cleaver. And he spits fireballs at you, you jump on his hands. It's a pretty cool fight, actually. Oh, that's the end. Okay. The DK coin was off to the left, but I'm skipping that. Yeah, so apart from the new boss, we had new collectibles in that version as well. There wasn't cameras, it was golden ostrich feathers, which you then use in one of the new minigames, the ostrich racing, which is a little bit like a Excite Bike, but not really, kinda. They had the other minigames, of course, new in 2, where the gyrocopter thing, which was like you're in a brambly area and you have to rescue Tiny Kong in her original, of course, DK64 look. This was before she'd been aged up. Yeah, she was located around this sprawling maze level, like a lunar lander kind of thing. And that was the mechanics too. You had to drive your gyrocopter around, not bump into walls, not run out of fuel. Yeah, really in that kind of mold, which Rare did do a few games of that kind of genre. I think Lunar Jetman and Solar Jetman, I think, were like that, which were on the Spectrum and the NES. Yeah, so the gyrocopter thing, there was Bag of Bug, which was Crusher's minigame. Not Crusher, damn. What? Don't do that, Brain. Tell me, what's his name, Brain? Brain? What's that guy? Big guy. Clubber. Clubber. Yeah, Clubber has a minigame, and it's like you're running around. It's an overhead perspective. You're running around his hut and like the path around it. Oopsie. Yeah, there's a nibbler down here, but you can avoid it if you're quick. If you manage to fall down from those ropes. This one's giving me trouble. Yeah, so Bag of Bug, you run around, you pick up bugs or whatever. I don't remember, but it's not very good. Clubber's chasing you. You know, you got to avoid him. It might be a clone of something, but I'm not sure what. The impression I get is that DKC3 GBA's minigames are all copying off something else, but if Bag of Bug is, I don't know what it's copying off, so yeah. Oh boy, dang. Oh, man. Oh, thanks for that, Gibbon. He's posted a little summary of the new stuff. Let's see. Chat. Yes. So Gibbon says that the new stuff in GBC was sticker pads, which were changed to cameras for GBA. I guess that's what I was getting confused on. Maybe the green banana things unlock stickers, I don't know. But yeah, GBC actually also had this feature where you could connect the Game Boy printer, that old peripheral for the Game Boy, and you would unlock like artwork and like, what do you call it, like pictograms, like pictures of letters that you could arrange to form a word and then print that out, and the letters had the DK characters on them and stuff. Yeah, so that was cool, I guess. Game Boy printer. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. And the Crosshair minigame, Funky's Fishing, a new hard mode with no star barrels, a new hard mode with new DK barrels, and Candy's Challenge. What's Candy's Challenge? I forget what that is on GBC. That's interesting. I don't remember this level being so green on SNES. And notice also that when I killed Crumple, what you should be hearing on the SNES version is him going, "Ooh!" And they had a really cool echo effect for the waterfall stage as well, so it really, yeah, very impactful. That's just one of those aesthetic things you lose on the GBA, but oh well. You really have to play both of them to get the full DK experience, I think. So yeah, anyone who has played one and not the other ought to correct that. So Ellie's strong enough to jump on Crumples, but if I... Oh, okay, so I didn't expect you to have to hold down to suck from a waterfall that's behind you, but you do. That's a bonus barrel, don't need it. So yeah, we got Ellie again, and we saw before the water spitting thing, but now we do it by sucking from a waterfall that's going past us. So that's neat. Okay, stuff. I have so much to talk about with these games because I love them and I've been so immersed in them for a long time. Oh, you can't suck when you're being blasted, so I have to just pop down here. Hey, whoa, Excuse me? Finally. That might be an emulator issue. See how when I collect a banana behind a waterfall, there's like a square around it that as the sprite floats over to my counter? I'm not sure if that's supposed to look like that. I'm going to blame emulator issues. Yeah, that sound is completely wrong. Yeah, one of the great things about the Donkey Kong Country games is the noises, the honks that the Kremlings would make when you stomp on them. It's a bit missing in this version. Oops, wrong way. Of course, that's Wrinkly's Refuge. There's Swanky's whatever. Swanky's Dash. We need to go down here. So, is this... Yes, okay. This is one where we get a friendly question mark nibbler who is happy to swim along behind you as long as it stays fed. And it's a really interesting gimmick. It's a nice little thing. It's kind of a pseudo animal body, but if it gets hungry enough, it'll turn on you and take a bite out of you. And this is denoted by its color. So its color will fade as time goes by and it gets hungry, or if you make it eat lurchins, which are spiky and it does not like them. So then you make it eat cocos and it gets happier. And that's all just controlled by your positioning and your direction, because it stays behind you. It's a really cool little gimmick, and gimmick not being used in a pejorative sense there. This is just the thing that DKC3 was known for. Having gimmicky levels, puzzly levels, kind of ramping up on that end of things compared to previous games in the series. And same with the overworld mechanics, where you pick up items, you take them between the bears, you use interactions between the bears to progress and get extra collectibles. Yeah, it's great stuff. I joked before in the chat that DKC3 is the joint best Donkey Kong Country game. I always have said that DKC2 is my favorite, and I think I hold by that, but DKC3 is a very, very close second, to the point that I would probably call them joint best. They're both excellent games. And the good thing about them is they're not trying to do the same thing. You know, like I was saying, this game has a different philosophy in its level design, and is trying different things, it's trying new things. And it's not just Donkey Kong Country again. And that's, I think, why DKC1 is the weakest one, because it's the most basic, and 2 and 3 build off it and take it in really different directions and do different things with it, which make them really great and interesting games. Whereas DKC1, there's not much going on. I don't really enjoy playing it that much, to be honest. I think some of the level design is pretty weak and so on. But anyway, an interesting, comparison. In the original, eating a cocoa would cause your nibbler back there to advance towards the blue end of the spectrum by 1 stage, but I noticed that I had advanced 2 stages towards red there, and then eating a cocoa made it turn all the way blue. So that's a subtle difference. Yeah, so here's a boss fight. We're fighting Ass Ellie, the animal body. Whoa, that water cycle was much quicker than in the original. Interesting. Like I said, there's all these changes with this one, but I don't remember most of them. So yeah, the water sprite changes really quickly as it goes along, and also the cycle there is really quick. So yeah, you have to use the water to spit at Squirt's eyes, just as Squirt is spitting at you, actually, which is an interesting quirk I never really noticed before. And Squirt doesn't directly damage you. Instead, the water that Squirt is spitting out will push you off the edge if you're not careful. And I feel like the motive force of that water is not as strong in this version, but it's easy enough to run off, as I just did. Okay, so Gibbon has now elucidated or enumerated the differences in the GBA port of 1, which is good, thank you. To wit, A new opening, yes, so cutscene, establishing the plot rather than it being all in the manual. No new hard modes. The cameras, that's a new collectible. Candy's Dance Studio, yes, which is like your typical rhythm, really basic rhythm minigame kind of thing where the prompts are scrolling along, you have to press them when they scroll up to you. It's not very fun. It's not a good example of the rhythm game genre, I would say. See, in the original game, L would suck up water and R would spit it out. But with this one, you have to use R and a direction to suck, and then R... Hang on. Ah! Well, you press down and R to suck wherever you are. And you can aim it by pushing up. So yeah, also the double spray, that's a new pattern for Squirt in this version. Yes, so let's see. Candy's Dance Studio, Funky's Fishing, the new overworld map, which is worse, as he says, and as I agree. And then there's some other graphical and sound changes, which I mentioned briefly before. Yes. So about Candy's challenges for the GBC version, he says they were like extra hard bonus rooms that awarded a banana coin in each world, which is interesting because banana coins weren't in the first game. He says he can't remember what getting all of them accomplished beyond percentage points. Yeah, what did anything accomplish in the first one? There was, you know, the bonus rooms really didn't give you anything beyond extra lives, and then, you know, the animal rooms, that was all extra lives too. So yeah, Squirt falling down is new in this version. In the original, Squirt will just stand there with its eyes closed? No, I don't remember. But to show that you won, basically it spits out the ski and that's it and you leave. But in this one, it falls down. That's new. And Cranky's comment, always appreciated. Yeah, they did change this boss fight, yeah. The water squirting patterns are all quite different. Alright, one more world to go and then we can get into Pacifica and we can show off the new content that was added in this port. So here we have, yes, it's an inferior version of Nuts and Bolts, the song, but it's still, this bit I think is okay. But yeah, it's just not as good, is it? I think most of my fond feelings about this soundtrack come from the remix album, Double the Trouble, which is great, and you should go listen to it for free on ocremix.org. Is that right? .org? I think it's .org. It breathes new life into a lot of these compositions. The same way that... Oh, where did I hear it? Someone playing... It might have even been Robin Beanland playing one of the Pocket Tales tracks on a piano. No, it wasn't Beanland, it was someone else. But anyway, it made that composition sound really great because you don't really get the full thing when it's just coming out of a Game Boy speaker. Anyway, oops. Got hit by that carbine shot. I wasn't looking. They always reminded me of like cheese balls or whatever. Everyone says that, of course. Cheetos? What are they? Cheezos? Whatever. Those awful orange balls. I don't know if they even have a different name in this country. Yes, I'm in a hurry. Let's reverse that death. You know, I'm not in that much of a hurry, but I really want to spend more time on the Pacifica world than I do just playing through the rest of the stages. So, yeah. Of course, we're missing all the bonus levels. Yeah, so I don't know. Stuff. Ooh. I've been talking a lot. What are we talking about next? I don't know. Gibbon, do you want to post a summary of DKC2 GBA changes? It's interesting. Oh, here we go. We'll go talk to Bazooka. Oh, he just looks. What is this guy? In the original, he was like a, you know, an English colonial colonel kind of type with a big moustache. But he still kind of talks like that. Yes, I fought in the Crimean War, don't you know? But I retired from the service along with Big Bessie. Who's Big Bessie? She's only the biggest and greatest cannon of all time. What a beauty! Have you seen Big Bessie? I haven't fired her for years. No ammunition, you see. It would be splendid to fire her one more time. But she needs some ammo to really get going. That's right. He doesn't give Blue the present. Somebody else does, and then it turns out to be a bowling ball, which Blue says, like, I really appreciate having this, and this has cheered me up, but I don't actually need it, so you can have it. And then you give it to Bazooka, and Bazooka uses it to fire the cannon. But who gives you the presents? Oh, that's weird. I forgot that this is a thing. Okay, so this toboggan, when it latches onto the railing, it kind of rocks back and forward. That's new in this version. In the original, it just sort of remains horizontal. Also, I think the pace is a bit slower. Yeah, of how it's running along. Oops. Supposed to hold the button after you bounce off that other beetle. They mixed up who gives what in the GBA version. Oh, they did too, didn't they? Some of the collectibles for the Brothers Bear get swapped around a bit as part of the introduction of Bachelor Bear. So yeah, there's some new sounds associated with the toboggan clanking around in this version. Just more of those new sound effects that they added. I feel like more than the other two, 3 got like a real overhaul for the GBA, as well as getting the whole new world, which is an amazing addition. But it kind of came at the cost of changing up the existing levels, which is what the extra collectibles do. Giving you something else to look for can make them a little bit more fresh, you know, if you're used to playing through these games already. Looking for those hidden cameras or feathers or whatever they are in whatever version gave you something new to do in the existing levels. And you don't really get that in this version. You do get the new soundtrack, which again is a mixed bag in itself. Come on. Yep. Yes, and the toboggan can safely destroy buzzers. Yes, good stuff. So that was the first toboggan stage. Later on you actually... Oh, no. I do not want this. This is bad. Yeah, later on you get the toboggan in its natural environment on the snow. And it actually comes back in Donkey Kong Country... No, what's it called? Donkey Kong Jet Race / Barrel Blast. The racing game by Payon on the Wii. Great game, especially for fan service terms. Okay, so that's interesting. I didn't... Oh, okay. I think if you get hurt by the saw kind of slows down and reverses a bit on SNES. But it doesn't if you hit something else. I think, if I recall correctly. Missed. Oh well. It's just a bonus level anyway, I think. But yeah, this is one of the things Gibbon called out specifically. The music really doesn't match what's happening in this level. On SNES, it was quite menacing, the music, which fits what's happening to you here. Oh, that was a bit dark. The ripsaw kept going after I died, and I was sitting on it, and it went past like a ceiling, and it left me behind. So what does that imply about what just happened to Dixie? Like she was totally crushed or something. Anyway. Yes. Things. Damn. These levels, I always want to stay as far ahead of the Ripsaur as I can, so I end up like an enemy will surprise me inevitably. Oops. That crying sound effects, that's way out of the ordinary. Yeah. So, I'm pretty excited about my birthday presents. The main thing I got was a PS2 and a copy of Echo the Dolphin Defender of the Future. Ever since I played Echo games, the Mega Drive trilogy, I have been kind of obsessed with Dolphin games and games that have that similar kind of setting. I kind of at first wrote off Defender of the Future because it's not made by the original team. It's a different setting, it's 3D and all that. And another significant reason why I attempted to write it off in my mind was because I felt like I had no access to it. I didn't have a PS2 or a Dreamcast, which was its original platform. I couldn't run Dreamcast or PS2 emulators on my computer. I've since worked out how to run a PS2 emulator, but that specific game, Echo Defender of the Future, is totally bugged on PCSX2. So it's unplayable in my current setup, despite me trying many different things to get it working. So the only solution was to get an actual PS2 secondhand. So that's fun. And now that I can play it, now that I have actually the means and the access to it, I am excited about it because I was just, you know, in denial, basically. Which, you know, is common. Oops! You know, you decide something's out of reach, so you say, oh, I never really wanted it anyway, it's stupid. So that's the thing. But, I mean, the other points are also valid. It's made by not the same team, but that's okay, because, like, I've played other Dolphin games at this point that aren't by the exact team that, you know, at Appaloosa Interactive or whatever they're called. And I still enjoyed them, so, yeah. I'm sure I'll love Defender of the Future, and I'm looking forward to it. And maybe one day I'll figure out exactly how to play Fluid properly, which is that rhythm music Dolphin game on the PlayStation 1. Who knows? Anything's possible. Oopsie. Damn. This level's tricky, especially without a DK barrel. Ah, nuts. I feel like on SNES it's a bit more lenient about where you hit that barrel when it lets you bounce off it, as opposed to it just damaging you. But yeah, I can skip that much. Ah, here we go. Oh! Damn, seriously? So, yes, Gibbon's telling me DKC2 GBA has Candy as Swanky's Vanna White, which I believe is a reference to, I don't know, an American game show, Wheel of Fortune? I don't know, whatever. Vanna White's like a famous, what do you call her? She's like the assistant role on a game show where like she stands there and looks pretty in her dress and like, I guess she flips the tiles over, if it is Wheel of Fortune that I'm thinking of. Like the host guy is there with his fake teeth going, "Arr, arr," and she's there going, "Ah, yes, I will turn over the letters for you." and to indicate prizes and so on. Yeah, that's something I got to get used to, is using the shoulder buttons, because of course, again, GBA, it's only got 2 face buttons. I'm used to hitting A and then getting the other web variant. So yeah, we want those to be not TNT, but normal barrels so we can jump on them. That's the thing. They used that pretty well in one of the bonus, what do you call it? In the Lost World, in Crematoa. There's a level where you're bouncing up on... What? Oh, yeah, right. Squidder can't jump on... Yeah, okay, fine. Squidder can't jump on barrels. That's... I think that's the same in both versions, actually, so never mind. I was supposed to use webs to get past, but... Or use Kongs to bounce on barrels, not both. Yes, so Gibbons confirming it is Wheel of Fortune. So, yeah, Swanky has the quiz show thing in 2, and they inserted Candy as a background character. She doesn't really do anything, but nice to give her a role and give her a presence in that game, whereas she never really appeared after 1 until 64 originally. So, yeah, that's cool. Oh, Tony says that the Lady Layton anime came out 2 weeks ago and he didn't notice. I didn't notice either, but good to know. So this is a thing where you can bounce on the barrels to get over there to a bonus, but I'm not doing it. And I took a hit for my trouble. Oh, damn. Yeah, I'll move on to now. This level's being a pain in my butt. So yeah, we got Candy inserted in there, and there's a nice shot actually in the credits of all the Kongs in like a group photo in the treehouse setting. Is it in the treehouse? I don't know where it is, but it's nice. So yeah, we got that. We got the espresso racing, which is done through Cranky's museum, and with them comes the gold feather collectibles. Oh, okay. There's also scrapbook photos in 2, which I forgot about until just now. But yeah, that's done through Wrinkly. They're presented as homework side quests, says Gibbon. And yeah, I do recall that now that you say it. There's the funky gyrocopter game, new cutscenes as well, which are nice. The new boss Kerosene, Diddy's Dash. Oh yes, Diddy's Dash, which is a time trial mode where you just play as Diddy and you try and get like speedrun records for levels. So that's cool. That was kind of a concept that was introduced in Donkey Kong Land 3, a dedicated time tracker in the game to give you times for how fast you can play levels. So that was integrated into DKC2 GBA and the Bag of Bug minigame. So yeah, that's all the new stuff, and it's cool stuff. Thanks for that, Gibbon. Tony says the anime is worth watching. Good to know. I've got the original Layton anime, which is set during the prequel era, with what's her face, Yellow Jacket Lady, Emmy, I think. I've got that on DVD, but I never ended up bothering to watch it yet. I certainly will one day, sure. I don't watch movies very often, so yeah. Anyway, but yeah, he's saying it's worth watching, so that's good. Asking how my wife is enjoying Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. Layton Mystery Journey. Let's see. The last time I saw her play it, her 3DS kept running out of battery really quickly, so she couldn't do very long play sessions, and she got really frustrated. Started shopping around for like how much it would cost to replace the battery on the thing. She's got she's got a small new 3DS with the cover plates, which they don't sell anymore. But apparently you can get battery replacements, and it's easy to do with Nintendo America, but not so much with Nintendo Australia, because they don't have an email address That is a true fact. There is no public-facing email address for Nintendo Australia. If you want to contact them with customer service questions or anything, you have to call them on the telephone like an animal. Like, it's 2018, people. What's going on? Anyway, yeah, the other option was to get her a new 2DS XL, which is we were trying to figure out, would this be a good option for you? Is it lighter? It's actually about the same weight as or mass as a new 3DS small. Whatever. Man, the 3DS line has such stupid names. But anyway, it's about the same weight, but it's bigger, so it actually feels lighter. At least that's what I think. It's less dense anyway, so, and I think you can feel that. But anyway, she didn't really end up making any decision about it, so she's just sort of put it off, and she found out that her favorite iOS game, Blockwick, had new level update, and she's been playing that instead. So yeah, she's just playing a sliding block puzzle game on her iPhone and enjoying it immensely. So I don't begrudge her that at all. Meanwhile, my sister-in-law is playing Detective Pikachu, and seems to be enjoying that. She's playing it with, because it's the Australian release of the game, the voices are in English, but you can select what language the text is in. So she's picked Japanese because she's fluent in Japanese, so she's reading the subtitles while hearing the English voices. Right, so Tony's correcting me. The new Lady Layton anime is not a movie, it's a series. So I'm much less likely to watch it in that case. Because if you talk about time investment for watching movies, getting me to watch an entire show is a bit of a no-go. Anyway, this boss fight's been changed a little bit. The actual mechanics seem to be the same, but what I noticed is that the room is much smaller. You can see the whole thing on one screen. Of course, that might just be down to the GBA's resolution, or as I said earlier, the GBA's playing area being larger. But I don't think that's it. I think the screen is the room is actually smaller, in addition to the screen having more horizontal space. Yeah. So cool. Here's Chaos. So we're nearly there. We're nearly at Pacifica. I just need to beat this boss and we'll be there. And my back is kind of aching from the position I've been sitting in. So let me adjust a bit. Hang on. Oops. I accidentally tapped the fast forward button there. You're going to notice that. I used to think you had to duck to get under this flame because I was being extremely careful as a child playing it. But it's not necessary. Chaos is in Donkey Kong Land 3 as well, and I recall him being a lot smaller in that version, so he's a bit less menacing. Oh, there's something interesting that I just remembered. So they fixed a pretty significant bug in this version of the game, in this port, I should say. There was this weird thing in the original SNES version where the Kong following behind you, whether it's Dixie or Kitty, when you're running along, they run as well. And then sometimes, or a lot of the time, when you stop, they don't come to a stop behind you. They kind of stay in their running animation, sort of running on the spot behind you when you stop. It's really, like, when you notice it, it can get kind of distracting. You can kind of ignore it, but it's like, how did this make it into the finished game? But yeah, that doesn't happen in this one, so that's nice. Like I said, it's always a trade-off. They make these fixes, but then you have things like the ugly map graphics, of course, which are just an eyesore. Yeah. Oh well, it's still a great game on either version. Oopsie, I thought he'd do. Yeah. Okay. Oh, nuts. Alright, I'm gonna start using the rewind. I want to get to Pacifica, man. When am I gonna get to that fireworks factory? Oops. Oh, I see. That's interesting. So I tried to sort of stay to the side to avoid Chaos's approach, but you can't hover if, like, him crushing you against the wall does not hurt you, but it interrupts your hover, which will get you hit by the... Yeah, and this thing is much more... It's much less forgiving. The eye shooting thing. Or maybe it's even stupider than it originally was. And I was just second guessing it and running in front of it, thinking that should work, but it didn't. By the way, that head is pretty clearly an homage to Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator. Except when I was a kid, I always thought it was kind of like Elvis, because it had a strong jaw and sunglasses. It's clearly not Elvis, but I always thought it was funny to imagine this robot singing and having, like, you know, catchphrases. Oh, thank you very much. Stuff like that. Chaos should have been in Donkey Kong Racing, says Tony. Well, we'll never know, will we? Donkey Kong Racing didn't exist. It's a bit of an unwieldy character to really partake in anything, since it's so big. But yeah, that's Chaos round 1. Of course, we'll fight him again in Baron K. Rullenstein's castle. But I'm not going to cover that on this stream. So yeah, Cranky telling us to go back to Funky. Gladly. Oh yeah. The catchphrase would be, I'll be back, indeed, because he does come back. Tony. So yeah, we got 2 skis. Gonna make the ultimate ride, but it's not quite the ultimate ride because he's got a gyrocopter later. Spoilers. There are extra DK coins in this version thanks to the extra world. Bonkers! I built in a cool turbo feature that'll be sure to take you to new heights. Just press the B button. So yeah, let's do that. Should we unlock Chromatoa? Why not? We'll see what it looks like in this version. You don't need the jet ski to do that? Oh, that's nice. So, roaming around, it looks like this, but when you hit the B button for the turbo, extra skis pop out and they're green on the side. That's really cool. But that actually lets you control the speed a bit better to circle these. So Baffle, or Blunder, rather, who is in that hut that's just below me down there, is supposed to clue you in about this. If you go around the circle of rocks 3 times, you open up the Lost World, Chromatoa. And in here there's some secret levels, and the extra bear Boomer. You give him bonus coins, yeah, it's 18 coins, because there's extra bonus coins too. Let's do it, Boomer. Yep, I don't have enough. Hasn't landed yet. Yeah, 18 in this version. Yeah, so you give him the bonus coins, and in return he activates his Bomby Bomb, which blows open a little pile of rocks, which lets you progress in that world to the next level. And in so doing... Boop, boop, boop. Okay, hang on. Yeah, we can get up waterfalls now. So there's some grottos around there for banana birds and stuff, but never mind about that. This is an area you could fly to with the gyrocopter. Oh yeah, actually you could hop up a couple of waterfalls in the original too to get up here, but that was just like a banana bird cave. But here they've added a whole extra world. It's amazing. Do I care if you spoil Millionaire's Conspiracy? No, but maybe the millions of people watching these streams will care about your spoilers. But yeah, go ahead. Don't worry about it. So yeah, everything from here on is all new levels created by the Handheld team, and weren't in the original game. So that's really cool. So we got a bunch of Spinies, I believe they're called. We're going to explore these levels a bit more thoroughly than we did with the other ones, because you know what, I'm going to assume that everyone watching this is as familiar with DKC3 as I am, which, you know, whatever. so let's do this. Don't let it go off screen, because I've noticed that in this game it's a little bit finicky about things being off screen and despawning. So yeah, it actually tells you how many you have there. So 1 of 46. That's interesting. That was not a feature before. But yeah, we've got seamless land to water transitions in this pipe stage. And okay, the twist of Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy is that there is no Millionaire's Conspiracy. Interesting. I shouldn't have said that out loud, because the Twitch video does expire after a while. I don't know how to stop that. But the YouTube archive is there forever. So now everyone will know the twist. Sorry. I mentioned that there would be spoilers from Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy. I mentioned that. Ah, nuts. This one's tough. And it's gone, but we can backtrack. Should be able to. Yep, it's still here. So something that Retro's DK games do is that if you fail a bonus level and then you, like it deposits you out, it closes off the entrance so you can't retry it. And that really annoys me. These original games never did that. They always let you retry if you just retrace your steps back to the bonus barrel that got you there in the first place. Yeah. So, I don't know. I just find this really novel that there's an entire new world in this game. Like, everybody with any sense, like, would have wanted the handheld team to continue and make another game after they'd ported all 3 of these ones. Make their own Donkey Kong Country 4, you know? But Pacifica is the closest we're going to get to an original game by that team in this, you know, in this engine, in this classic style. But yeah, made in 2004 or whatever. This is the closest we've got. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can and savor it. Pacifica on my birthday. So notice the parallax effect with the water. As you go down, it levels out. If you go up, the camera sort of moves such that you're looking down on the surface a bit more. So that's nice. That I think was on the SNES original as well. Oh, okay. The camera moved and I thought it had cut me off. It had put it might have put a hard boundary on there. That does happen in DKC from time to time. Not frequently, but it has been known to happen. But no, it was just a camera movement, and I can run back anyway. So yeah, on guards here. Yeah, the game has been out for 9 months. Tony, you're right. Is that counting from the iPhone release? What's this? Aha, secret coins and lives. But we don't really need coins. Whoa! Well, that was weird. Saw the lurchin speeding past. But yeah, the water changing level, that's a nice dynamic feature for this level. I guess if we're going to compare it to the other levels in the game, what is the gimmick of this level? I guess it's the changing water level in the pipe. There's other pipe water levels, but like Poison Pipeline. But I feel like, well, the Poison Pipeline gimmick is the reverse controls. Is there another pipeline level that has water? I can't think of one actually. So yeah, I'm probably just forgetting, but oh yeah, rocket barrels, nice. Outside of the 1 or 2 levels they were in the original. I just missed something, didn't I? Since the objective is to see what these levels have to offer, we'll just rewind quickly. Ouch. Oh, it was just some bananas. Not worth dying over. Nice. All right. So that's the first level. What's nice about this world is, I don't know. Maybe nothing. No. It reminds me of Donkey Kong Land 3, where each world basically looked just like this. It's just sort of a random assortment of levels with that loosely corresponded to elements in the overworld map. All right, so anyway, Barnacle's Island. He's on an old abandoned ship, which is up on shore here, and he looks stupid in that coat and hat. That's ridiculous. His original look was like an old sailor with like a jumper on, a knitted jumper and a pipe. Anyway, he's got a shell collection. You can see it in the background there. It was a bit more obvious on SNES that it was on a shelf, and like there was an empty spot that you would donate a shell to him. So yeah, he likes his bird, but he'll trade it for a shell, and then you get the bird. Oh, that's major spoils. I'm not gonna mention that out loud. Tony's totally spoiling the plot. Good stuff. Okay, I see. Yes. Well, enough of that. Alright, so yeah, we got another sort of pier level here, but it looks very different. The waters are very deep blue, and also you notice that there's some quite strong waves in the background. And I believe, I don't know, there's a returns level where there's waves that come up from the background and smash you in the foreground if you're not careful. I don't remember if that's a mechanic in this level or if that's just an element of the background back there is the waves. But this is new. The TNT guy, Kaboom, I think is his name. The Kremlings hiding in TNT barrels. Normally they just hold on to... No, it's not Kaboom. Kaboom is the one in DKC2. I think they're called Clingers. And here we see a cracked floor, which only appears in like 2 levels in the original. So now it's 3 levels, I guess. And they're all pier levels. It's supposedly a feature of Kiddy Kong's throw move. So Kiddy can throw Dixie up to high areas, but when Dixie tries to throw Kiddy, he doesn't go very far, and then he crashes down with a thud. So let's just try it. Yeah, so he won't bring me up there, and you notice the little smoke particle that appeared. That's new in this as well. Yeah, so Kiddy being thrown is a very little used mechanic in this game, but yeah, it gets an extra turn in this level, I guess. So yeah, clasps, I think they're called. Yeah, normally they're only on ropes, but here they get to run around and blow you up as well. So that's new. It's good stuff. How many latent games have I played? 0 actually. So my wife has played all of them, except for she's halfway through, you know, Lady Layton. Is that true? Okay, so nobody has played the one game that is exclusive to Japanese mobile phones. Nobody in the West, basically. So I can't count that one, but apart from that, she's played them all. I haven't played any of them, but I enjoy watching over her shoulder from time to time, or just reading about them or stuff. Playing some of the mini games occasionally. Yeah, so I appreciate the series and everything about it, but I haven't actually played any of the games. The closest I've come is playing a Layton clone on the DS, which was a Doctor Who licensed game called Evacuation Earth. The puzzles were extremely simple to the point of really tedium, but it was, you know, it's clearly a Layton clone. I know what the games are structured like, so Yeah, that was kind of fun. It was about Silurians and like the Earth having to be evacuated because of solar flares and stuff, which is all stuff that happens in the canon of the show. But yeah, it was fun. Of course, Daleks show up at some point. I just liked the whole... Whenever there's human-Silurian relations, I think that's a really fun theme that gets done from time to time in the show. So, and that's what this game was about, basically, so that was nice. But yeah, weird game. Just cloning Leighton, yeah. Oh, Tony says I should play the mobile game on stream. That's a good idea if it was possible. I don't think it's possible. Generally, Japanese-only mobile games are like exclusive to these like weird online services that they have and they access through the phone. And the ROMs of these games basically never get dumped, so it's just impossible. I could try and see if there's a ROM online somewhere, but I don't think that is going to happen, honestly. Besides which, it'd be almost impossible to play because all the instructions would be in Japanese and I'm not that good. Anyway. Yeah, it's cool that you've got these new enemies that were... I believe the sprites for those running TNT dudes were in the original game but went unused. So they end up getting used in this in these new levels. I think they were also in Donkey Kong Land 3, actually. It was them or something else, like a running Kachaka or something, but that doesn't make sense. There wouldn't be a walking Kachaka. Yeah, I think it was them. But then how could you tell on a black and white screen? I don't know. I think... yeah. I don't know. Stop. Yep. Oh, no. Tony, Western games is a different story. Like, Western mobile phone games are pretty available, like, for the most part. I've tried to get some that I haven't been able to, like the Red Dwarf Simulant's Revenge game. So some niche things. But yeah, it's specifically Japanese mobile games that are pretty rare and hard to get. This is interesting. I can't get up here without Kitty, but the stage hasn't been super generous with the DK barrels, so I won't be able to get this DK coin unless... Nope, can't make that. Oh well. I'm not going for DK barrels, DK coins. So yeah, as you say, when Heil found Grunty's Revenge mission, mobile version and missions, yeah, I found that. That's not hard to find. Getting it to play is a bit annoying, but still doable. Oh, Swanky's in a cave here instead of his weird VR dome, but we don't want to bother with him ever. Okay, so Gibbon's saying the original didn't have any writing on animals. I have to think about this. The original game, i.e. DKC3, didn't have any animal crates. Is that what you're saying? And there was all transformation barrels? No, that's definitely not true. I remember at least in Pothole Panic, there's a bit where you ride on Guard. Oh, dang. I missed it. Oh well. Not going for DK barrels. So this is a really interesting level. It's a tree level, but the gimmick is that there's water in it. So you switch between swimming and platforming, and there's all kinds of water enemies down here. Oh, I didn't mention the barracudas in the last level as well. They're usually only coral reefs, but they put them in a pier stage. So yeah, nice mix-ups of formulas that the original levels have established in these Pacifica levels. And yeah, so Sunken Spruce is really nice. You'll notice the background, that's a unique background. That's never in any other levels. It's sort of a sunken Acropolis ruins kind of thing, which is really interesting. Tying into the Kremlantis theme for some of the water levels in Donkey Kong Land 1. Yeah, nice, huh? Doesn't that make you wish that Heil was still doing the slush fund? Bloody hell. Donkey Konga 2. Ugh, what a mess. Anyway, enough about that. Gibbon, I'm challenging your assertion that the original didn't have riding on animals, because it definitely did. There was a lot more transformation in this game compared to compared to 2. There was no transformation in 1. It was all riding. There was a mix of riding and transforming in 2. They would make you transform when they wanted you to use the particular gameplay mechanics of an animal body to face the challenges of a level, as opposed to sometimes animal bodies are used as a power-up or reward for helping you get through a section, or for helping you do it differently, or getting extra collectibles or so on. That's when you'd be riding one, because when you're riding it, you could get hit at any time and lose the buddy. But then you still have to complete the stage and go on as the Kongs. When you're transformed, you take hits and the buddy has its own health, or animal friend, or whatever. And then if you get hit twice, you restart from the checkpoint. So it was a way of locking you into an animal body to, if they had a specific kind of level design in mind that they wanted you to do that needed the buddy's mechanics. So there's, let's see, riding. Yeah, you definitely ride Squitter in this game as well at some point. Yeah, you're wrong. Sorry. There's definitely animal crates in this game, and parts where the animal is optional. And sometimes even the animal is optional. We've seen that a few times where there's like a stray Squitter sign, a no Squitter sign, that you pass and you go, oh, where's Squitter? And you get him in a bonus stage, or you find him off the beaten track or something. Sometimes you will transform there, but then before long, the sign will be there to transform you back. So in that case, it's optional, but it's still a transformation. So it's not necessarily one or the other. But yeah, sometimes they force a transformation is what I'm saying. Okay, so here we're back at the surface, and we've got a bonus barrel over there. We've got the DK coin there, and we've got Minkies coming back. I didn't mention this before, but the projectiles that Minkies throw are clearly little acorns in this version, with a green cap. That was less clear in the original, where the nuts they threw were brown on brown, and it was difficult to tell. Okay. Sorry, I thought this was the flag, the end of level flagpole here. So I was trying not to fall down, but actually it's up there. But anyway, let's go down here. Yes, good. So one thing that bothers me about DKC3 is the bonus barrels that sort of warp you instead of shooting you out. Because the blasting you out of barrels is like a dynamic thing. It's iconic in the DKC series. It feels satisfying with the sound and the kinetic action of you being shot out of it. And you're being shot into like a bonus level. I like that, and that's what it was like in DKC2. But when 3 came around, a lot of the bonus barrels just sort of have that twisting warp animation. I'm just sorry, I'm gonna cheat because talking and playing is hard. Damn. Ooh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the warping animation, it's not as satisfying to experience, and it's not as clever because, like, there'd be spaces above the barrel that you'd be shot into. So it kind of lets them be a little more free in where they place the barrel, but I don't know. It's a tiny thing that really bothers me in the way that happens, especially when you're young. Or maybe it's just because I have OCD and stuff or whatever. Not diagnosed, by the way. So I've missed the DK coin and I don't know how to get it, but oh well. And what really bothers me is when because not all the barrels in DKC3 do the warpy thing. Some of them do blast you. And what really bothers me is when there's space above the barrel for you to be blasted, and yet it still does the warping effect. It's, like I said, it's a stupid thing to be concerned about, but it really gets my goat. Okay, so that little area, not useful at all for anything. Oh well. Okay, let's go back. Oh, I haven't been reading the names of these levels. I think that's important. I'm gonna die. Okay, so we've just been through... Hang on. We'll go back through them. Dingy drain pipe. Sunken water in the drain pipe. Stormy seas, which, yep, just a background element. No actual storm interaction, but look nice. Sunken spruce, really great concept. Cliffside blast. So we're at our first cliff level, I believe. So we're getting to hear this music now, which, yeah, is, again, not preferred from the original, but still, I don't know. I can't talk down any of David Wise's music because I really like him as a musician, but yeah, this isn't as good. I always look for secrets off to the sides, but I really don't think there are any most of the time. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, the harmonica. It's nice. Oh, I did the same mistake twice. Oh. I like how it follows you. Yeah, so the remix of this is really good. But even the original is like, it's not bad. I like it, but it's just not the same, you know? Anyway, I've said the same thing a few times about that, so... Yeah. Ah, damn. What's this secret about? Aha. Yeah, it's just the sound when it warps you. You don't, like, you go into a barrel that has an open top and you don't get blasted out. I hate it. I hate it. Oh, there was another copter. Didn't see him. Okay, I get it. Lost. Sorry. So yeah, the music. I mean, it's just weird how, like, people always forget how much Evelyn put into the first DKC, and then she also kind of gets overwritten in this port by Wise. So it's kind of, I don't know, it feels bad, but damn. But that's okay. The original's still there, and it's kind of a better game in certain ways than this one, so... Yeah. Oops. Okay, let's be more careful. I'll pretend I'm not playing this on stream. Oh, but then I won't talk. Okay. Oops. Whoa. Okay, so here you can hear something I was talking about earlier. The music's faded down, and in its place we have this kind of quiet ambience with just blowing wind and sort of some animal sounds. There we go. I noticed that just like in DK Land 3, you don't have to run over and collect the coin that coin drops. That's coin with a K is the name of the enemy. you automatically get awarded it when you defeat coin. That's a change. But yeah, you get this ambience, and it's basically half of the track is this and half of it is the music. So it's one of those weird choices. Like, maybe that's what David wanted for this music? Maybe? But who knows? Can I swap? No, I can't swap on her. I noticed these bananas over here. Oh, it was nothing. So Copter's an interesting one. He shows up as a playable character in Barrel Blast, which is kind of out of left field, but it's nice. It's nice to see DKC3 get rep like that. It's all too often it gets overlooked. I've seen people complain about 2 and 3 saying that like they're not as good because Donkey Kong's not in them, and like that is such a ridiculous criticism to me. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, the enemy sound effects aren't as good in this one, but let's not always talk about how this one's inferior to the original. It has its good points too, including this whole world that we're playing now, so that's nice. Yeah. Alright, so that was Cliffside Blast, a barrel cannon focused cliff stage. So I know around here there's something to find. That might come later. Let's just do the levels as we get to them first. Okay, so next, oh, here we go. There's a secret, not secret, but it's Cranky's Dojo. Again, we don't need that. I think each world has a unique like stage for that minigame. Oh, this is good. So this has the currents feature, so you can see little seaweed leaves floating around in the foreground. And just like in, oh, what's that one? There's a level in DKC2 where you're in the brambles and you're squawks and you're flying around. I think it's Animal Antics actually, but that's just reusing a gimmick from earlier in the game actually, because Gusty Glade in Gloomy Gulch is the world, Gusty Glade is the level, and there's winds that can affect your jumps and stuff. So then that was used for a Squawk's Beard in Animal Antics, and yeah, they brought it back in a water context in this stage. So I've got a bit lost here because there was a path down there that seemed like the main path, and I wanted to do the alternate path first, but oh well, I'm on the main path now, so whatever. Might have missed a bonus stage, but that's okay. I did want to show off all the content in this level, but I already missed a bonus stage in an earlier level, so whatever. Notice how the Lurchins are a different palette too, which is interesting. That never happened in any other stage in this game. They always look the same, but here they're green with a gold shell, which is different. Yeah, Gibbon says he loves this level and it's very creative. I agree. Rip Curl Reef, it's called. Like, the actual gimmick, like, I don't know how fun it is to play. That was always my least favorite part of Animal Antics, of course, because it was really difficult. And this is kind of similar because the swimming controls, I guess, are more similar to the Squawk's flying controls than they are to platforming. And yeah, it can just change on a dime and fling you into a lurchin or something, which is unfortunate. But yeah, like, props for the handheld team, definitely. I missed the K. That's what was in the alternate path, I bet. Oops. Yeah, see now the current's going and stopping erratically, so... Well, regularly, I should say. Ah, come on. See, it can really throw you off. Guess that's just part of the challenge, though. So let's try and play as Dixie as much as we can. Let's try and play as Dixie. Well, anyway, let's give up on that sentence. Yeah, Dixie, she's great. It's really cool how the DKC3 team elected to give her her own game after Diddy got his. There's no way that Kitty could carry a game on his own for a potential DKC4, but who knows? They might have partnered up with Lanky or something. Could have worked. Oh, the current's so strong I can't even go back that way to check out the right path. Oh well. But yeah, like, Dixie was a great addition to DKC2 because she was a bit more equal to Diddy in terms of her playstyle, but then she had the added the hair twirl. Damn. Yeah, I've had it with replaying that section. Fighting that current. So yeah, water levels in this game always end with a cavern because they had to put coin in every level and they had to put coin in a section that was on land. Donkey Kong Land 3 gets around this by not having coin in water levels. There's just a DK coin to collect. Okay, so I'm sure there's a secret cave somewhere in this world to get a banana bird. Don't know where it is though. But yeah, I think that's all the levels. No, there's another one. Okay, Surf's Up. Because yeah, the boss for this world is oh, hang on. Yeah, this world doesn't have a unique boss actually. They moved what's it called? The Lurchin boss. What's it called? Barbos. Okay, so here we got another toboggan stage. I wonder what the gimmick is to make it separate from Pipeline or Drainpipe Dash. Let's find out. But yeah, they moved Barbos from Razor Ridge to Pacifica in this version and replaced Barbos with a new boss. So this game also has a new boss, like DKC2. Yeah, the new boss is not good. It's ugly, it's really ugly, like, it looks terrible. It doesn't match the rest of the game's look at all. Funnily enough, it matches the look of the map screen, so yeah, you know that they were made by the same team. And it's got this really weird feature, like, it's a big octopus thing that's in the water below you. And it has, like, claws that it tries to snatch you with. But it also drops bombs, not TNT barrels, but like big cartoon black bombs that you then have to throw at the tentacles to damage it. It's a really, you know, it's an unusual concept, but I suppose it kind of fits this game. I don't know. I can't get over how it looks. And I don't remember its name either, unfortunately. What's its name? Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Okay, that's interesting. So I guess the gimmick is that it's half toboggan and half non-toboggan? That might be it. Because the other toboggan levels are just toboggan all the way through. Pretty sure. Even Snow one. Okay. Hang on, did I have any unfinished thoughts there? Oh, actually damaged that beetle. Weird. Dixie Kong. Like, hang on, that's different. It let me hover twirl in the air after throwing a barrel. That normally wouldn't happen. So yeah, more mechanics changes in this version. Yeah, Dixie, she's great, isn't she? But Nintendo of America marketing didn't think so. Because, yeah, Barbas is playing. Yeah, so this will be the same old fight. Yeah, they in advertisements of the era for DKC3 on SNES, they tried to like emphasize how cool and how badass Kiddy Kong was for some reason. So the theory is that they didn't have any confidence that a girl character could like headline a game of that type. But that's BS because Dixie is great. I'm very happy to play as her anytime. It's part of the reason why I love Mario Hoops 3-on-3 so much, because Dixie is like there as part of a team with the other Kongs, with Donkey and Diddy. Oops. And yeah, what else is she in? Is she in, she's got to be in the baseball game, because everyone is in the baseball game. We never got the baseball games. GameCube and Wii. They've even got like Tiny Kong, Funky Kong. Yes, Gibbon confirming she was. And she's in Diddy Kong Racing DS too. Nice addition. Yeah, Hoops, yeah. Hoops is the main one I think of, because I really like the sprite art in that game for the character select screen, and for the portraits for like the character icons. They're really great too. But the main game is played in 3D models, which are also fine. They're good as well. So yeah, I usually do the charge up power stab to hit Barbos's weak point, but you don't need to. So yeah, Diddy Kong Racing DS, Mario Superstar Baseball, and Mario Super Sluggers. Well, actually, I don't know about Superstar Baseball, but she's definitely in Sluggers. So that's a weird deformation thing for the sprite. Yeah, Diddy Kong Racing DS is good for that reason. It's almost worth losing Banjo and Conker to get Dixie and Tiny in. Alright, what's your deal, buddy? Oh yeah, this phase has its own cycle of hits. Damn. I guess I'll just beat this and then, because I've been going about 2 hours now, so I've shown off Pacifica, which was my goal. Oh, there's 2 hits for that section. That's weird. When will this game ever end, he says. Yes. So, that was Pacifica, and it's great. Can I swim down this waterfall? No, I can't. Yeah, but before I finish, of course, I have to show off the funky minigames, because I think they're great. So let's quit. We'll go to the cheats menu. I want to see if this works as well. I don't know why I have the N and the Nya, that thing. I don't know what to call it, but the Spanish N. Oh, it just takes you directly to a music player. Oh, I guess it just plays while you're in that menu. Okay. Fine. Minigames. X tree. Huh. So that just goes in there. They just insert another menu before you get to there. Okay. Yeah, so they all appear here now. Yeah, for a menu. Like I said, each world has its own level of these things. Oh, and you can see the background there is a classic render. Whereas this background is the Cranky's Dojo background. Oh, that's a nice one. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Comes in the little speedboat there. Alright, so there's 4 different games. And like I said, they're all... whoa, hello, okay. Yes, gotta get used to these controls. So it's tank controls. You hold B to accelerate, and then you aim the boat with the D-pad. And then A is shoot, so I can actually damage the other Kremling racers in their little boats. So that's cool. Alright, so yeah, this is based on Rare's NES game Cobra Triangle, whatever, which was, yeah, a boat game. Pretty cool stuff. It was, and even that was a variation, I think, on, what was their bloody racing game? Pro-Am 64. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter what I call myself. For the leaderboard, yeah. Pro-Am 64 was a car game. Wait, was that the race or was that... Hang on. Oh, that was destroy, and I didn't destroy any. I was just running along. No, let's do this properly. Use the gun. We got to destroy these Kremlings. We got to blow them up. So there we go. Take them down. So yeah, they had Pro-Am 64 and Super Pro-Am 64. Hang on, forget I said anything. So Rare had this game on the NES called RC Pro-Am, and then they made a sequel called RC Pro-Am 2, and they were both on the NES, and then there was Super RC Pro-Am on the Game Boy. All this information is correct. Diddy Kong Racing was the project started as a 64 3D conversion of RC Pro-Am, but then they inserted animal mascot characters, and then they inserted Diddy Kong, and then that's what we got. I don't know if that's actually the correct sequence of events. Maybe it was always going to have mascot characters, so just, yeah. But yeah, they also had... just because I think they might have been running on the same engine, because it's between RC Pro-Am and Cobra Triangle. It's the same isometric perspective, and you know, vehicles and stuff. I don't know. I just thought it might be similar. I made that connection. Whatever. But yeah, Cobra Triangle. It had a bunch of different modes in it as you go through. And all the modes in this minigame are replications of modes that were on that game. Except they're missing one, because there were also boss stages in Cobra Triangle where you would fight against either a sea serpent, which you can see on the box art of Cobra Triangle, or a giant octopus, or some other things I forget. And there's no equivalent for that mode in Funky's Boats. But that's okay, there's the other 4 gameplay styles on offer, and they're really cool, so yeah, that's cool. Another connection there is that in Conker's Pocket Tales, which we've already talked about on the stream so far, there was a boat racing minigame where you have to face Honker, who is like your evil doppelganger or whatever, but he's a skunk. I don't know, whatever, just go with it. Yeah, you face him in a boat race to win back boat parts that he stole from Ted. I think is how it goes. When you're in the the what are they? The Miko Islands? Macau Islands? What are they called? Mako Islands? Mako Islands. Which is maybe the third or fourth world in Pocket Tales. Yeah, so Pocket Tales has all these like mini game bits, like a target shooting one and different ones. Man, I was 4 seconds from the end when that guy knocked me down. That's okay. We disarmed 4 sea mines. That's nice. But since we were killed instead of getting to the end of time, my score has not been recorded. Oh well, that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, the boat races in Conker's Pocket Tales are the exact same style as that boat race thing. So yeah, okay, this is the great thing. We have to now protect the Kongs who are in the water here from being kidnapped by these Kremlings in the boats. And what's really nice is wait, stop. Yeah, you get these cameos here from all these different Kong characters, some of whom are not otherwise in the game. So, oh man, they've already taken so many. Just because I want to show off these sprites, they're really cool. We've got here Cranky waving at us, Chunky down there, Candy's over here, Dixie, who might be swapped out if I'm playing as Dixie, I don't know, Diddy, Funky, Lanky with his long arm, DK here with his 2 arms up, and then Tiny, whose overalls blend into the water. So yeah, this is like one of the few appearances of Tiny, Chunky, and Lanky, especially Chunky, because of course Tiny gets a few other appearances after her redesign, and then Lanky's in Barrel Blast. But yeah, like what a cool way to use these other characters you have, putting them in this minigame in this way. It's really nice, and I'm doing really badly at protecting them. But I think you just need to protect one to get through to the end. It might be, you might get a better score if you protect them all, but I haven't done a very good job. But yeah, just that they're here, I love it. Even though you only get half a sprite of them because they're half below water. I think we got a respite here. Okay, here we go. So yeah, supposedly Funky has installed guns in all his boats to shoot at the Crumblings. And yeah, you can pick up a Kong that's been taken away and drop them back in the circle. No, you don't. Kremlings have these little shacks on the edges. Oh, can I rescue them? I can! Excellent! Great. Should have been doing that. Where are they? There we go. I got a score of 2, I suppose. Of course, I was playing as Kitty. Since I'm doing this from the menu, I don't really have the opportunity to play as Dixie. Maybe if I do it within the game, because you unlock more levels of this as you progress through worlds in the game, I believe. So let's just get back over there. Oh, and we're Kitty right now, so let's... something a bit special. Yeah, so that's the gyrocopter. Duh. You know, Funky, that you also are involved in this. You also chose to go swimming outside the Kremling stronghold. Yeah, here we go. So here's Dixie in the hovercraft, and... What?! Whoa, hold on now. 2 Dixies? I'm seeing double here. 4 Dixies. So there's no kitty swimming in... There's no kitty swimming sprite. What the heck? 2 Dixies? And now she's been captured as well, so... The evidence has been lost. Oh, I died. That's... I don't know how to reconcile this, actually. I mean, there was a similar issue in DKC 2 GBA. In the gyrocopter missions, there's like 5 copies of Tiny hanging around. Waiting to be rescued. Not 5, but there's a few. Like, what is going on here? Maybe they're just mannequins. Now that'd be sad. I'd like to believe they're all here, except that DK and Diddy, of course, are actually involved in the plot of the game. You find out later that they were inside the Chaos Robot all along. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, fine. I don't know what to do about that. Okay. So let's go back to the last minigame mode, which wasn't unlocked there for me in Funky's yet, but we can get it through the extra menu. Race. So yeah, this is instead of shooting up the other races, and I'm now in the jet ski for some reason, so that's nice. I guess because it's faster. Yeah, I have no gun now, but I just have to do well in the race. And this is more like what the Conker's Pocket Tales minigame was, because you're racing against Tonka. Of course, there's only one opponent there, instead of 4 or 5 identical critters. Actually, that's interesting, because critters don't otherwise appear in this game. The basic run-of-the-mill Kremling is your Cobble, who is purple. So yeah, critters. Interesting. Clearly the DKC1 critters with the gold shoulder pads, you can see there. Lap 2, 3rd place, 2nd place. And running low on health. So yeah, the level design of these races, of this race particular, it's pretty simple. It's just a big diamond. I recall that being the case in certain other games. Actually, because I mentioned a few RC Pro-Am games, that's not the end of the RC Pro-Am legacy, because, oops, I lost some of my health and sunk. There's a couple of games that Rare were contracted for by Disney. Oh, there's the Dixie Sprite there. Interesting. Try and finish a race at least. Yeah, so Disney contracted them to make a Mickey Mouse racing game with the Mickey characters, including Donald and Goofy and such. They reused the Diddy Kong Racing engine to make a 3D racing game on the 64 called Mickey's Speedway USA. But they also did 2 Mickey racing games on the Game Boy Color. One of them was also called Mickey's Speedway USA, and they were released at the same time, accompanying the 64 game on the Game Boy Color. But then they did another one called Mickey's Racing Adventure, which was the same engine. I haven't really fooled around with them too much. I don't remember which one came first. I assume that Speedway USA came first, and then they did another one off the back of it to try and improve some things and just reuse the same engine and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, that's all part of that legacy as well, with RC Pro-Am and Cobra Triangle and Conker's Pocket Tales and DKC3 GBA. Yeah, I love that stuff. So we're doing much better in this race. Way out in the lead, so we're not getting bumped as much by the critters. And hopefully I can avoid bumping into... yeah. I will cheat. I will do it. Yeah, of course, the main reason I know Mickey's racing adventure is because of the rare cow, which is a kind of Easter egg that the handheld team like to put in various of their games. It's kind of a crude drawing of a cow. I think it first appeared in Conker's Pocket Tales, actually, as a cow, as a living, breathing cow. There were 2 of them in Vultureville, which was also known as, what's it called? Rapido Ranch, maybe? Yay! So yeah, you had the 2 cows sitting there, and I guess they liked the cow, and they reused the sprite in various other games. It appears in Perfect Dark on Game Boy Color as like a bit of graffiti on a street wall or something. It's also, I'm going to do this again because I want to talk about the rare cow now, and so I can actually complete it this time. Yeah, it's also in Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge on GBA as a drawing on a wall as well. It's in a sandcastle on, what's it called? Breagull Cove or Beach or whatever. The beach level, I think, is the second world in the game. Good game. Yes. So yeah, Rare Cow. Oh, it also appears in Donkey Kong Country, GBC. On the wall of Slip Slide Ride, I think? Or no, what's the ice cave level? There's one level in the game that uses this ice cave background. In Gorilla Glacier. It's either Slip Slide Ride or... it must be that, because I'm blanking on any other names, so I think that's it. Yeah, Game Boy Color only, not in GBA. So what's that? I know there's a top 5 list on Rare Gamer. Which has like top 5 rare cows, and I think that there's only the 5 of them. There might be more, actually, if you're on the hunt for rare Easter eggs. But I know of those 5. So how many have I named? Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, DKC, Conker's Pocket Tales, and Mickey's Racing Adventure. So yeah, the only 3 of them, they're kind of like drawings within the game. But on 2 of them, Conker's Pocket Tales and Mickey's Racing Adventure, they're actually animals. And you can see one, you're in a boat in the Mickey's Racing Adventure one. So yeah, that had car levels and boat levels. So that's interesting. I never thought about that, but it is kind of a Diddy Kong Racing successor in that way, but also firmly between between RC Pro-Am and Cobra Triangle in that legacy. So if you leave your name blank and hit end, it gives you the initials DKC. Interesting. Yeah, so Mickey's Racing Adventure and Ponka Tales are the only times when it's an actual organism, a cow, that appears in the game world. And through that, if there was no drone rule in the DKU rules for DK Vine, then Mickey's Racing Adventure would be part of the DKU. Yeah. Because like the cow's a drone, there's 2 of them that are the exact same. They don't count as like a unique character by the rules of DK Vine. But if that rule was relaxed, then Mickey's Racing Adventure would be in there. And as such, it's actually part of the honorable mentions feature, which never got finished. But it's in all my spreadsheets and stuff. I took a screenshot. So yeah, I guess that's the end of the stream. I ended up by talking about the rare cow. So yeah, that was Funky's games. I showed off the other games and they're kind of neat, but Funky's is the best one. I think it's the most fleshed out and the most fun to play. So yeah, that's the end. We got 2 Pacifica. We showed off all of Pacifica. I didn't show off the new boss because I would have to do 2 more whole worlds to get to that point, and I think we've been going long enough today. And I don't want to be too exhausted on my birthday. So yeah, that's the end. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining me to celebrate on my special day. And yeah, see you next time for more wonderful games that star wonderful women and Dixie is certainly one of the best female characters in video games ever. I said it. Yeah, cool stuff. All right, catch you later, guys. Bye-bye, guys and gals, and gender non-conforming people. Bye.